There are moments in life when a single word can transform the course of a soul's journey. A thread unravels, a wound begins to heal, a river breaks free from the dam. These moments are not distant dreams, but possibilities waiting to unfold, waiting to break the chains of the past. Generational pain is not just a memory, it is an inheritance passed down through the veins of family, a legacy we often inherit without choice. This pain affects us in ways we may not even realize, shaping our beliefs, our actions, and our relationships. But what if there were words that could break this inheritance, words that could set us free? Carl Jung understood the profound power of words, recognizing that the soul speaks in symbols and silence, and sometimes it speaks in a single transformative word. In this video, we will explore 5 such words, words that hold the power to heal, to break cycles, and to release the heavy burdens passed down to us. These words are not mere phrases, they are soul-shifting, transformative forces waiting to change your life. Generational pain is not just a memory, it's a living inheritance. But what if the right words could break this inheritance and set you free? Carl Jung understood that the soul speaks in symbols and silence, but sometimes it speaks in a single transformative word. Carl Jung, one of the most profound minds of the 20th century, understood the psyche as a vast landscape, one that carries not only our own personal experiences, but the unresolved burdens of our ancestors. He introduced the idea of the collective unconscious, a deep, shared layer of the psyche that contains the experiences, memories, and yes, pain of previous generations. These inherited wounds, passed down without our consent, deeply shape the way we experience the world, often without us even knowing. For Jung, these wounds aren't just about trauma, they are part of an unconscious inheritance, a pattern passed down from one generation to the next. The persona, the mask we wear for the world, often hides the deeper parts of ourselves, the parts that carry the scars of our lineage. Yet transformation begins when we turn our attention inward and face these wounds consciously. Jung believed that by confronting these inherited wounds, we begin to break free, and words, simple yet profound, can act as the bridge between our unconscious suffering and conscious healing. Like seeds planted deep in the soul, words have the power to heal and transform. Jung believed that the unconscious holds not only our personal memories, but the inherited stories of our ancestors. These stories, unresolved and unspoken, shape our lives in ways we don't even realize. But words, like seeds planted in the soul, can heal these wounds and break the cycle. The first word that holds the power to break generational pain is enough. This is not just a word, it is a profound declaration to the soul, an affirmation that challenges the deeply rooted belief that we are unworthy of peace, happiness, or love. For many, generational pain has manifested itself as a silent, ever-present feeling of inadequacy. This belief, passed down from parents, grandparents, and even culture itself, convinces us that we are not enough, not good enough, not worthy enough to stand fully in our power. This inherited sense of deficiency is like a shadow we carry, unseen yet heavy. It takes root early, often unnoticed, and forms the very foundation of self-doubt. It's the chain that binds us to the past, passed down through the veins of the family lineage, through words unspoken and love withheld. The weight of this pain can make us feel that our worth is always conditional. We are never quite enough, no matter what we do, how much we achieve, or how much we give. It can feel like an endless hunger for validation, a desire to finally feel that we matter. But enough is the word that shatters this cycle. It's the moment when you stand up and say, I am worthy, regardless of my past or what I've been told. I am worthy not because of what I do or how I perform, but because I simply exist. When you say enough, You release the need to prove yourself and end the cycle of self-sacrifice. You claim your sovereignty, your power, and your right to exist fully in the light of your own truth. Enough becomes the key that unlocks the door to authenticity, to a life no longer bound by the invisible chains of self-doubt. Enough is the declaration of your self-worth. It is the boundary you set, not against others, but for yourself, to stop the endless cycle of self-rejection. After enough comes the deeply healing affirmation, I see you. These 3 simple words have the power to break the generational cycle of invisibility and emotional neglect, offering a profound validation that many of us have longed for but never received. For generations, certain families have carried the invisible weight of unspoken emotional wounds, pain and neglect passed down without ever being acknowledged. Love may have been present, but it was never spoken, never validated, leaving deep scars of loneliness and isolation. In many families, there were no words of recognition, no acknowledgement of the soul's struggles. Children grew up feeling as though their emotions, their very existence, didn't matter. Loved, perhaps, but unseen. This emotional invisibility can ripple across generations, creating a pattern where no one feels truly recognized, leaving behind an aching void in the hearts of those who were never able to share their feelings or experiences. I see you is the antidote to this cycle. These words go beyond mere acknowledgement. They are an emotional validation that someone, somewhere, truly sees and understands the depth of your being. To be seen is to be witnessed in the most intimate and sacred way. It says, you matter. Your pain matters. Your joy matters. In a world where so many have lived with the shadow of neglect, the power of being seen brings healing, allowing those who were once invisible to step into the light. Through these words, the generational cycle is broken, one soul at a time. The third phrase that has the power to break the cycle of generational pain is, I forgive you. This phrase holds immense healing potential, for it releases resentment, anger, and the unresolved pain passed down through generations. Generational pain often takes the form of cycles of unforgiven hurt, whether it's betrayal from parents, long-standing family conflicts, or unhealed ancestral trauma. These unresolved wounds ripple through time, deeply influencing how we live, think, and relate to others. Imagine someone carrying the weight of family betrayals, holding on to grudges that feel too heavy to release. Their life becomes a mirror of the unresolved hurt they inherited, and they unknowingly repeat the same patterns of emotional suppression. But saying, I forgive you, is not about condoning the wrongs or excusing the pain inflicted. It's about freeing yourself from the emotional prison that resentment creates. Forgiveness is an act of liberation, a choice to release the chains of resentment that bind us to the past. Picture it as a river of release, flowing from the heart, washing away the weight of the hurt that has kept us trapped. Saying, I forgive you, offers light where darkness once reigned, providing clarity and peace. It's not about forgetting or excusing, it's about choosing freedom over suffering. As Carl Jung said, forgiveness is not a gift to the one who hurt you, it is a gift to yourself. It's the ultimate release, breaking the chains of generational pain and creating space for healing, renewal, and empowerment. By embracing forgiveness, we shift from being prisoners of the past to architects of our future. Following the release of resentment through forgiveness, the next powerful phrase to break the cycle of generational pain is, I am sorry. These words of accountability and reconciliation hold the key to healing by acknowledging not only our personal mistakes, but also those of our ancestors. Often, families pass down patterns of defensiveness, pride, and a reluctance to admit fault. In these family systems, the burden of unspoken apologies festers, leading to unresolved conflict and estrangement. Generations go by without anyone taking the first step toward reconciliation, trapped in a cycle of blame, shame, and emotional distance. Imagine a family where no one can apologize, where each member feels too proud or too afraid to take responsibility for the pain they've caused. This denial perpetuates the wounds, making it impossible for anyone to truly heal. But saying "I am sorry" is not a sign of weakness. It's an act of profound strength. It takes courage to look at the past, to acknowledge where the cycle was broken, and to vow to rebuild it with truth and humility. This simple phrase acts like a healing balm, soothing the raw places in the soul, mending the rifts that span across generations. It serves as a bridge of reconciliation, offering the space for understanding, empathy, and connection. The weight of unspoken apologies is heavy, but when spoken, those words carry the power to mend, to realign, and to break the cycle of emotional isolation. Saying "I am sorry" doesn't just heal relationships, it heals the soul. It is the acknowledgement of our mistakes, both personal and familial, that allows us to take responsibility for our collective healing. After releasing the weight of unspoken apologies, the final phrase to break generational pain is "I am free." This is not just a statement, it is a declaration of sovereignty, a powerful affirmation that we are no longer bound by the chains of inherited pain, trauma, or limitation. For many, the past looms large, casting shadows that threaten to repeat themselves in endless cycles. Generations before us have lived in fear of making the same mistakes, fear of perpetuating the same suffering, and fear of being trapped in patterns that seem impossible to escape. But freedom comes when we face those inherited wounds head-on and choose to break free from them. Consider someone who, after confronting the deep, painful wounds of their family history, decides to walk a different path. They choose to no longer carry the burden of fear, guilt, or unhealed trauma. In saying "I am free," they embrace their own truth, unshackled from the past, stepping into the light of their own sovereignty. This is not just a personal liberation, it is a liberation for all who came before them. When we say "I am free," we do more than break the chains of our own pain. We break them for all the generations that came before us, allowing the past to finally rest. The open sky, the breaking of chains, and the path of liberation become the symbols of a soul reclaiming its birthright. Freedom is not just a choice, it is an inheritance, one that is ours to claim. When we embody the words "I am free," we unlock the door to a future that is not constrained by the past, but instead is shaped by our own vision, our own truth. The chains that once bound us are shattered, and the soul takes flight into its own boundless potential. As we move from the words that break generational pain to integrating them into our lives, it's important to reflect on which of these 5 words resonates most deeply with your experience. What part of your past still holds you captive? Which of these words can you speak today to release the weight of your inheritance? Take a moment to connect with the truth within you, whether that's embracing your worth with "enough," being seen with "I see you," releasing old wounds with "I forgive you," acknowledging the past with "I am sorry," or claiming your freedom with "I am free." Transformation doesn't happen all at once. It's a gradual unfolding. But it begins with one intentional step. Start with one word, one action, and let it ripple out into the rest of your life. Remember, these words are not just expressions. They are keys to unlocking the door to your soul's liberation. Speak them, live them, and watch how they begin to dismantle the walls that have kept you bound for so long. You are already on the path to healing. With every word you speak, you're not only changing your life, but healing the legacy of those who came before you. This journey is sacred, and it's already begun. Speak with power, speak with intention, and watch as the chains of the past begin to break apart, freeing you and your ancestors from the weight they've carried for so long. This is Echoes of Psyche, where transformation isn't just a possibility, but a living, breathing reality.